At number 5 we have Father Gascoigne, who is an absolutely fantastic early game boss. He's the second boss most people end up fighting in this game, and he's the first humanoid boss. He's the first hunter you get to fight, and I think From Software does an amazing job with this boss. The boss itself is really fun to fight, very challenging for most new players, and it also does an amazing job of teaching new players the mechanics of Bloodborne, especially if they're either just new to From games in general, or if they're coming from Dark Souls. This boss really does a fantastic job of getting people used to the mechanics of Bloodborne, how the moving is different, how fast-paced the bosses may be, and also any other mechanics that Bloodborne has implemented into their games. And this boss is really just all around amazing to fight. Humanoid bosses are always the best in the games, and From Software just does a fantastic job with this boss. Next on our list is Ludwig, the Accursed / Holy Blade. This is an example of a non-humanoid boss done very right. The boss is super aggressive, and it has a lot of moves that'll kill you pretty quickly, like you just saw. It's very aggressive, and it has a lot of attacks that it can do, and it really keeps you on your toes the whole fight. It also has a second phase that really changes the entire fight. You have to learn a whole new moveset. It's extremely fun, but it's also very challenging, especially on higher new game cycles. This boss can be an extreme challenge, and that really makes it a lot of fun to fight. Overall, this is an aggressive, fast-paced fight, and it really makes it a ton of fun, and you really feel the achievement once you finally beat the boss. It's an amazing feeling, and this is why it gets number 4 on our list. Number 3 on our list is Gehrman, the First Hunter. Now, depending on which ending you go for, this is the final boss of the game, and it's just so much fun. It's another hunter humanoid fight, and it really makes it very fast-paced, and you feel like you're on the same level as this boss rather than you fighting a giant beast, and it really gives you an amazing experience. This, along with the setting and the music of the fight, it's absolutely amazing when you finally get to this point in the game. And if you didn't know anything about the game, it's pretty crazy to realize that the guy who's been sitting in the wheelchair in the dream the entire time is the guy who you have to fight to finish the game. So overall, this is a super fun boss, very fast-paced, and it can be pretty challenging to a lot of players. And that, along with the setting and the music, it's a phenomenal fight, very fun, and I just love this boss. Number 2 is Lady Maria. Now, as you've seen in this countdown, aggressive bosses are generally the most fun, and Lady Maria is no exception to this. She is very aggressive, has a lot of combos that can destroy you pretty quickly, and it's absolutely so much fun to fight her. Now, this boss can be very easily parried, and it can make the boss kind of really easy and not as fun, but I absolutely recommend that you fight this boss without parrying and actually dodge and get your moves in between her combos, and it's just an amazing experience. So much fun. You really feel a great sense of achievement when you get good at dodging Maria, just because of how fast her combos are, and then into her second phases she can really use those combos to deal a ton of damage. So you really feel a sense of achievement once you get it down. Not only that, but the setting of the boss is pretty sweet. It's directly after another boss, which for a lot of people would probably come as a surprise. You probably weren't ready for it at all. But it's an amazing fight. The character herself, she has a lot of lore as being a hunter with Gehrman, and overall, this boss is just absolutely amazing. Tons of fun to fight, a lot of lore to go along with it, and it really is one of the best bosses in the series. And number 1 is the Orphan of Costs. Now, if we're talking about aggressive, fast-paced humanoid bosses, Orphan of Costs is the best. It's so much fun to fight this boss because of how aggressive he is. He generally doesn't give you a whole lot of time to do anything. And for a lot of people in the community, this is one of the most challenging bosses in the game. As you can see there, he deals a ton of damage with some of his moves, and he can be very hard to dodge all of his combos. And he also has an extremely aggressive second phase, which is even more aggressive than the first, and it can really be tough to get down dodging all of his moves. I found it extremely fun. It was the most fun boss I've ever fought in a From Software game. It is my favorite in the entire series, not just in this game. It is just absolutely phenomenal. I love how fast-paced the boss is. I love the setting. The setting of the boss is absolutely amazing. It's gorgeous, and I love the area that comes before it. It's an amazing area. The DLC in general is just fantastic. And this boss being the last boss in the DLC just caps it off perfectly. I really don't think there is another boss in the series that can live up to this boss in the way I felt fighting it the first time, and the way I felt fighting it every single time. It just never gets any less fun, and it's always so intense, and it's really the best boss in the series. So there you have it, guys. Those are my picks for the best bosses in Bloodborne. Forgive me for my commentary. It's not the best. I actually didn't even use a script, just because I tried to use a script and I wasn't very good at reading it off. It felt too robotic or whatever, but forgive me for that. I really did try my best. Leave a like, please. I'd really appreciate it. And comment down below and let me know what your favorite bosses in the series or in this game are. I really love seeing other people's opinions and how people enjoy the same games I do. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next videos.